Hello. In New Jersey, the 4th of July, or Independence Day, is observed in a diversity of ways, ranging from displays of pride and celebration about the independence of the human spirit to important, critical, even angry conversations about liberty and freedom. Many remember their ancestors that were still oppressed, even as the writers proclaimed to the world, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal." My name is Noelle Lorraine Williams, and I am the director of the African American History Program here at the New Jersey Historical Commission. And today, we have the opportunity to take a glimpse at both contemporary and historical conversations with the Declaration of Independence that artists, activists, and communities have had in the past up to the present moment. The 4th of July often marks when European male leaders of the 13 colonies here in North America, the original ancestral homeland of the Lenni Lenape, declared their independence from Great Britain and stated that they would no longer be subjected to the abuses of British rule. In the Declaration, they illuminated a litany of injustices that they as subjects suffered under the British. In this conversation, number 3, we will highlight the ways community leaders have been in conversation with the Declaration of Independence. Even though the establishment of Liberia on the west coast of Africa was originally envisioned to rid the United States of free Blacks who were agitating for their freedom and civil rights in the 19th century, some African Americans believed that they could seize the opportunity of colonization to make a better life for themselves. Many of them believed that racism and murderous oppression would never cease in the United States and decided to save themselves and their descendants by making their lives in Africa, a place they had never been, but what they call the homeland of their fathers. Though critical of the racist oppression in the United States, Americo-Liberians, as they would come to be known, could not shake the influence of the burgeoning American culture that their ancestors had helped to build. In this new country, you could see the influence of ideologies, dress, architecture, and most importantly, liberty that was influenced by their upbringing in the United States. Initially controlled by the American Colonization Society, an organization founded by New Jersey pastor Robert Finley. Their leaders would include Robert Stockton, the grandson of a signer of the Declaration of Independence, from a slaveholding family in New Jersey, who would forcibly purchase the land for Liberia on behalf of the American Colonization Society in 1821. Later on, Liberia would adopt its Declaration of Independence of its own, July 26, 1847. And despite these contradictions and the tensions of their homeland in the United States, free African Americans used the original Declaration of Independence as a blueprint when they wrote, "We, the people of the Republic of Liberia, were originally inhabitants of the United States of North America. In some parts of the country, we were debarred by law from all our rights and privileges of man, and other parts, public sentiment more powerful than law frowned us down. We were excluded from all participation in the government. We were taxed without our consent. We were compelled to contribute to the resources of a country which gave us no protection. All hope of a favorable change in our country was thus wholly extinguished in our bosoms, and we looked with anxiety for some asylum from the deep degradation." Though the conflict with Indigenous community members was not highlighted in the Americo-Liberian Declaration of Independence, as it was in the original Declaration of Independence, the Liberians would have increasingly strained and violent relationships with the indigenous community members of Liberia over the next 150 years. What do we learn about liberty, freedom, and independence within all of these contexts? Can liberty be achieved when others are oppressed? What are the myriad views on freedom that we can learn from as we continue to understand this 4th of July? And what kind of conversations will you have this 4th of July? Thank you for joining us. Please join our conversations with the New Jersey Historical Commission on Facebook and Instagram. Have a good day.